Welcome back to the Living on Sports podcast. I'm Cheston here with Michael. All right, so this past weekend there were some U.S. Open headlines. Serena Williams threatening the line judge.
You know, and the thing that really irked me about this, not that she threatened the line judge, the way she handled herself after that. In the press conference where she was like, I don't know what she said. You know, she tried to play it off like nothing happened, and it was clearly obvious from the bleeps that CBS had to put into their telecast that something did happen.
Oh, no. I mean, witnesses said that she was going to bleeping kill the judge and effing shove a ball down her throat. So I'm thinking that, did she just forget all this happened? Like Chris Brown forgot hitting Rihanna? Or
I mean, it was stupid and really upsetting to see the way Serena acted, especially since she's tried so hard to be, you know, an icon for girls and especially young African-American girls. And to see this happen, and you say, okay, she lost her head. But to see how she handled it afterwards was even more upsetting. At least come out and admit that you were wrong, you know. And now she's drugging into, well, there was an apology, you know, there was sort of a half-assed apology. And then there was another apology a day later. And now we're in day 3 of the saga, and she's still getting asked about it yesterday after they won the women's tournament.
Oh, yeah, no, it's a real shame. But I just don't know about a $10,000 fine for that. That just seems a bit excessive. Now, granted, she has tons of money in sponsorships, but I think a fine's got to be unilateral across the board. You're not going to fine, you know, a lower-seeded person that much money.
I think you are. I think tennis is trying to make a point here that that's not acceptable, and that's a very good way to get that point across. And you know what? You do it to your big dog, and you let your big dog know, and you let everybody underneath her know, this isn't acceptable no matter who you are, no matter if you're the number 1 seeded player in the world or no matter if you're the number 150th seeded player in the world. This isn't acceptable, and we're going to prove it to you by fining you whoever you are.
I think it's good they do send a message, and hopefully she doesn't do that again. So Roger Federer lost yesterday for the first time in a U.S. Open or a Grand Slam final to someone lower than the 5th seed.
And what a great match that was too. I had the fortune of watching it while I was at work. But yeah, it was a great match. And then Federer's blow up was all over the news today about how he was dropping the S-bomb, and I think maybe he even slipped an F-bomb in there. And everybody was looking at it like, oh my gosh, this guy is, you know, the next best thing, the world's greatest person, blah, blah, blah. It's okay if he cusses. I'm not worried about that. I think, you know, props to Del Potro for pulling it out. That was impressive because the first 2 sets he won, he had to do it with a tiebreaker.
No, it was really impressive. I mean, I was really sad to see Roger not win it again, but, you know, Del Potro played a great match. You know, Roger swear in the middle match. Every athlete on every sport swears. Tiger Woods is just ridiculous on the course, yet, you know, just let them do it every now and then. People are going to lose their temper. Just don't do what Serena did and threaten somebody.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a part of athletics. Kobe said that in his documentary, Kobe Doing Work, that cussing is a part of athletics. I know I cussed, you know, when I played sports, and I still do.
When I play ping pong, I mean, come on.
Yeah, or beer pong, you know, and it's part of it. And you get upset and you show your frustration, you know, but don't threaten somebody, Serena. Come on now.
No. Let's move on to basketball. Michael Jordan's Hall of Fame speech drew a lot of criticism. How do you feel about it?
You know, I didn't like it. I didn't like the criticism. I didn't have a problem with Jordan's speech. I really didn't. I think that he was, you know, everybody's taking it from this angle that he's bitter, that he's still fighting this war, this competition war between him and the other people. You know, when he talked about Dean Smith, I didn't take that as him ripping Dean Smith at all. And I don't think Dean Smith did either. I think, you know, Michael Jordan isn't going to get up there and rip somebody that's been like his second father.
Well, Dean Smith's one thing, but what about calling out Byron Russell and you know, all the Utah Jazz and all these other players? What was that about?
I thought that was funny. I really thought it was funny. Byron Russell will forever be noted as the guy who guarded MJ on his game-winning shot. And you know what? Sorry, you drew the short stick. You know, that was a funny story. I watched it again today for the second time, and because it was brought up on so many shows again, and it was all over the internet, and people saying he was bitter and saying that was not the correct way to go out. What way would you want him to go out?
I want a humble speech. Now, Michael Jordan's never been humble, and that's not something to expect from him. But at the same time, I just like to see one time for him to, you know, give credit to people, and don't need to call out other people and put yourself above them there. By being inducted to the Hall of Fame, you're already above them. Just give them their due.
I don't think he's sitting there. I don't think he was sitting there saying, praise me. He started out the speech by talking about how his competitive nature came from his family. And the whole speech was about his competitive nature. It was about how he got PO'd at the guy who got his spot on the high school basketball team above him. How he got PO'd at Dean Smith because he didn't put him on the cover of Sports Illustrated. How he didn't like Buzz Peterson because Buzz Peterson was supposed to be Mr. Everybody's All-American and he wanted that spot. He got PO'd at Byron Russell because Byron Russell said, come back and I want a shot at you. And MJ came back, and what did he do? He beat him. It was all about competitiveness. And MJ has forever been known as a fierce competitor.
Oh, yeah.
Not a person who just wants to beat you. He wants to rip your heart out. And why that speech was MJ to his finest.
Maybe I got to go back and watch it again. I just saw it as a little too much big-headedness and just not being very nice in general.
And it wasn't like everyone in the crowd was booing him. Granted, he is MJ, and I don't think anybody's going to really boo MJ unless they play for the Jazz. But, I think he had a good time with it, and I think it was really the only way for him to cope with no longer being on top. And I think that is so tough for him because he was there for so long, and he knows how good he is. And I think mentally he still thinks he can be that good, but physically he knows he can't.
So that's the problem. I think that he still thinks he can strap up his Air Jordans and go out in the court and dominate, which obviously at this point he would not do. All right, so moving on. We got Michael Crabtree says he's going to hold out till next season.
Stupid. Vince Young made this mistake when he came into the league and he hired one of his buddies as his agent. Crabtree hired his cousin as his agent, and this is just ridiculous. These guys are just throwing away their talent. Crabtree, I hope to prove a lesson to him, he never plays it down in the NFL.
I think that would be justification, but now apparently the 49ers are not going to call his bluff. They have improved their offer, is what I'm hearing now.
And if I'm the 49ers, I would sit there. Granted, they're a team that needs him, but at this point, how good is he really going to be to your team, bringing him in halfway through? If they sign him tomorrow, obviously he'll be there tomorrow, but it looks like that's not going to happen. It looks like this thing's going to be drawn out for a few more weeks. What good is it bringing in a guy who clearly may not want to play for your team?
I wouldn't do it. I'd let him enter the draft next year and slip to 20 or lower.
And I'm so tired of these guys who come in and, it's like Ricky Rubio, who come in to the draft and then do this and get a big head. This is so stupid. Just sign with the team. And if you're really, what are you arguing over? A few $1 million? Look at, take a lesson from Aaron Crow, who screwed up in the MLB draft, then dropped, and it's just foolish.
Oh, no. It's a difference of $500,000 2 years ago, and now he's going to be a difference of $3 million. I mean, just stupid.
Just stupid. Speaking of stupid, you and I had our fair share of stupid stunts this weekend. It was Free Chipotle Burrito Day here in Columbia, Missouri, where in some other cities around mid-Missouri, where with a student or faculty ID, you would get a free burrito. So Cheston and I and our good friend Mike and Chad, we went to Chipotle and got a free burrito, and then Chad wanted to go watch his Bears struggle in the Sunday night football game. So we went to drop him off, and then Cheston, Mike, and I decided to expand our waistlines a little bit. Went to Chipotle again, a different Chipotle location, got another free burrito, and then halfway through we thought it would be a good decision to go get another free burrito.
They were free. Why not? I mean, as long as you can get them, you get them. So we go get the third. Michael's able to get a fourth by wearing a sign. And after that, it was just all downhill.
Oh, man, we struggled. It was a great story, but I wouldn't recommend it to anyone.
No, I'd say stop at 2. I wanted to stop at 1, but just for the challenge, I had 2 and 3.
I can't stop at 1. That's my problem. I can never stop at 1 Chipotle burrito. I always have to have 2. And then the other night, I had to have 4.
So lesson learned now is that I can only eat 1, or maybe now I'll only be able to eat 3 to be full.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll give you an update on the Chipotle eating contest next weekend if, God forbid, we go to Chipotle this weekend. That'll do it for the Living on Sports podcast. For Chester McGuire, I'm Michael Spencer. Thank you for listening. We are out of time, and if you've listened this long, well, then you've wasted too much time. See you next week.